Get ready to dive deep into Buffalo's vibrant music scene because we're stepping inside the fabulous Flamingo Lounge for the 9th season of local music magic. In the Flamingo Lounge with Rockabilly Greg is more than just a podcast. It's a collection of stories that delves deep into the vibrant musical history of Buffalo and Western New York, creating a living archive where each story adds a unique thread to the overall narrative. This season, we're taking a deep dive into the heart of the music community. Join us in personal conversations with musicians and industry pros where we celebrate the collective creativity that makes our favorite artists, venues, and events so special. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, CatsLikeUs.com, Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, and valued supporter Buffalo Ironworks for helping to keep the music alive. Jeff Nixon is widely recognized for his defensive career with the Buffalo Bills, yet his life is equally defined by his craftsmanship as a musician. A dedicated songwriter and guitarist, Jeff blends the precision of a professional athlete with the soulful depth of the blues, a talent honored by the Buffalo Nightlife when they named him R&B Guitar Player of the Year for 3 consecutive years from 2006 to 2008. Beyond the stage, Jeff has lent his musical ear to media by composing theme music for sports history programs. He remains a fixture in the Buffalo music scene, frequently performing in tributes to the city's rich cultural heritage. It is my honor to welcome to the Flamingo Lounge, Jeff Nixon.
Greg, it's good to be here, man.
Jeff, it's great to have you. I'm so glad
Alrighty.
you could come down. And
Yeah, I'm in the Flamingo Lounge. You should see this place. I know it's a podcast. You can't see it, but it's just phenomenal. Records everywhere, pictures, pink flamingos here and there, guitars. He's got a little bat cave in the back there, off the man cave. You know,
There you
where
go.
he puts on his Batman outfit.
I have to keep making shelves for more records because
yeah,
I
right.
can't stop. So
Yeah,
and mostly local. So
I've got a pretty cool collection of 38s.
oh, cool.
Yeah, my brother's he stored them for years, and he bought them, and it's great music from back in the day.
Yeah. Well-
and I love collecting albums.
Mhm.
I love collecting records, and I see you're the same.
Yeah. Well, there is one you should look. It's called it's a 78 from 1948 called Mo Kaufman and the Mainstemmers, and it was the first recording of Boyd Lee Dunlap, Frankie Dunlap, and Elvin Shepard.
Mm.
And I've got a repress of those from 1950 from the Netherlands and from Germany, but not the original on the
How
main
much do you
stem
think
level.
that's worth now?
Probably at least $100. So
Oh yeah,
it's funny because I talked to Elvin Shepard's son John over Facebook, and he's like, "Yeah." I says the last time I saw the main stem label actually available was like 2012
Right.
in an auction, and he says it went for like $50. He says, "I know I lost that auction." I'm like, "Dude, how can you lose that auction? That's your dad. I would have spent.
I know.
Just go balls."
So earlier I said 38s, I meant 78s.
Yeah.
When I was talking. So yeah, they're very brittle though, man. I had this one that was, I forget who. I had Django Reinhardt.
Oh wow.
And who's the violin player, the really good one, Stefan Grappelli.
Mm.
They were both playing on it, and it broke, man. I was just
Yeah,
I was packing it up to actually send it to somebody.
Mhm.
They wanted it for like $50, and that went out the window real quick. They're very brittle. Those old,
Yeah.
old 78s.
Yeah, as they say, they're fragile. So
Yeah.
but this is one of my favorites from Ramblin' Lou. So he actually wrote a song called "Ode to Hank Williams" when Hank Williams passed away. So, and I found the sheet
Yeah.
music on eBay, and then I finally found a copy of the
It's
record.
called Ode to Lou, or
An Ode to Hank Williams. Yep,
Ode to Hank Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's from Ramblin' Lou.
from Ramblin' Lou Shriver.
Me,
Yeah.
and Lou Picone, I was telling you this earlier, me and Lou Picone, we recorded a 45 almost 50 years ago.
Wow.
We were playing with the Bills at the time, and Lou came up with this idea and some lyrics for a song, "Ain't Nobody Gonna Buffalo My Bills." And it's a real nice country blues
Mhm.
thing, and we're going to be playing that song and singing,
cool.
and he'll be singing it the night of our music fest.
Right. And we'll get to that toward
Yeah,
the
we'll
end.
talk
I
about
want
that
to
later.
I want to save the music fest, but
Yeah.
I want to start out. I always start out asking my aha question. So, did you have a moment when you picked up the guitar, you heard a song, you said, "Man," because I'm sure you did that with sports too, but with
Yeah.
music, did you go, "Man, yeah, that really gets
as
to me"?
with a lot of things that drive people to go into a certain avenue of their life. My brother Craig was playing the bass in a band, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, and of course he had all the girls were there for him.
Yeah. that never
always,
hurts, right?
I was wondering, hey, maybe that's how I can get into it. But so anyway, I asked my dad, could I have a guitar for Christmas? He kept telling me, nah, it's just too expensive. Blah, blah. Then on Christmas Day, there's the guitar wrapped up. I tore that sucker apart.
Right.
And from that moment on, it was like I started learning tablature, guitar tablature.
Sure.
I started playing songs by Mississippi John Hurt and just some of the old blues guitar players, and that was my thing, finger picking. And then later in life, I started getting into more lead work and stuff. But I just basically call myself a rhythm guy.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not one of those fancy guys that can sit there and solo for a half an hour.
Sure.
My whole thing is just basically putting together a nice song, letting somebody else do all the riffs.
Right. Yeah. Because you're also a songwriter too, right?
Yeah, I've written a few songs.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm going to perform one at our music fest too. One of my original, really nasty songs.
Now, get back. Do you still have that first guitar?
No, I don't. It was a Yamaha.
It was a Yamaha? Okay.
It was a nice guitar.
Yeah.
It was really, I liked it. It was, my dad spent a pretty penny on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I moved up to an Ovation, and I've kind of kept with Ovations. I like those kind of guitars. I've got a Taylor guitar too.
Okay.
I've got a PRS as far as my electric stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Guild Tennessean. I've got one of my treasures, and this is a heck of a story. You'll get a kick out of this. I went to Chef's. Bobby Takak does a special MIA event there, and they auction off all these guitars that he gets signed by these great artists.
Sure.
And I wanted to get a guitar, and so I got a Stevie Vai one. I bid like $250 for it. Really good price for a Stevie Vai.
Right.
But all Stevie did is he put an SV on the pick guard.
Right.
And so the next day I decided I'm going to actually videotape myself playing the guitar. So I do that, and I noticed I wiped off his signature. It wasn't indelible ink or anything.
Right.
I was like, what the? So I called Bobby Takak up and I said, hey, I see Stevie Vai is going to be back in Buffalo playing at the Riviera Theater on October, near my birthday, actually, close to October 13th. I said, do you think I could get the guitar signed again? And he said, yeah, bring it on down. We'll figure it out. And this time, Stevie put a beautiful signature. His S looks like a bass clef.
Oh wow!
And it's just his whole signature is magical. It looks like,
Yeah.
So that was nice that he was able to do that for me. But yeah, so anyway, I got involved with guitar at an early age. This was basically my maybe freshman year in high school. And I started messing around. Never was in a band though.
Oh, okay.
Never was in a band. Just did my own solo stuff, and every once in a while I'd play here and there for a little group or something. But my wife Joyce, she's the one that actually got me into my very first band.
Yeah,
she was singing with Taylor Made Jazz, and they have a guitar player, really good one, but he couldn't make all the gigs, So Van Taylor asked me if I could sit in on some of these things, and I did, and and he liked me, and so for most of the performance from that point on with Taylor Made Jazz, they used me, but they still have some other really talented guys that have played with Van over the years, and they'll come in and step in with them,
Yeah.
So that's fun. Ron Walker is one of them.
Oh yeah.
And he's in the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
Kenny Hawkins, of course, he played with them quite a bit.
Right.
But and Nelson Thomas, he's amazing guitar player. So, I keep trying to learn from everybody, from the experience of everybody else's music. Some people say, hey, how did you, kind of develop your style? And I said, I don't know if I ever developed my own style. I learned from people before me.
Sure.
And that's what we all do. We all learn from our predecessors, and you build your own, sound from that, and hopefully I've done that a little bit. I've got a long way to go. You can never stop learning in music. It's just, it's amazing. There's so much to know.
Yeah.
So
you never stop learning, and you never stop buying guitars too, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. I love guitar. I got about 8 of them right now.
I know.
So yeah.
Well, you can see I've got a couple down,
Oh,
but
yeah,
they've turned into artifacts. So
that's okay.
You know,
that's
it's
okay.
which I got when I got you. I have to have you sign. It's my guitar guy.
Is that right?
Guitar that I have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd be
like George. You mentioned George Paleo before we got on. George signed it, and George was down. And
George is one of the most phenomenal guitar players.
Gosh.
I had him at my music fest last year.
Yeah.
He's in a class of his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, it's and of course love Van and Ron Walker. They've both been down on the podcast, and served on. Well, Van of course was on the board of the Buffalo Music.
Van's been everywhere.
Yeah,
he's been travel the world. When Joyce was still alive, she toured with him. She went all the way to Egypt one time and got a chance to visit the pyramids, and it was just phenomenal. And they were at the embassy, the U.S. embassy that was in Cairo. And she got a chance to tour the area and take a look at the temples and just buildings and obviously the pyramids and the Sphinx.
Yeah.
And she got some beautiful pictures. I still have her Facebook live and up, and she has this picture of her with his arms, both way out to her side, and she's got this like silk gown or not gown, but just like shawl or something, and then the pyramids are right behind her, the Sphinx, and then the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Right.
But then she went to Hawaii, she went to Alaska and performed there. She went to Guam.
Wow.
All these.
Yeah.
And I thank, Van for keeping her mind in mind for that. I couldn't go because I had to work and I was taking care of the dog. So.
Sure. Oh, well, someone's got to stay home.
Somebody's got to do that, right? Work and take care of the dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Van's one of those guys that, he's so quiet. But man, he's done so much with those USO tours and everything with the government. And of course, he does the shows down on the, on the boats there.
We performed with them there on the destroyers.
Right.
That's kind of an interesting gig, going up there and playing with all that you got a missile that's like aimed right at you. It's amazing. Though.
Hopefully it's been decommissioned, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Don't want to hit it with the guitar and oops, miss a couple of strings. So now, like with your music, is that just the only stuff now? Kind of at the top, I mentioned that you've done some stuff with sports history programs. So like, how do you get? Obviously, you're connected with the sports, but how did that become?
I'm sorry, you said it was
composing themes for the music for sports history programs. So.
Oh, that was a very small gig.
Was it
doing that? Yeah, that I don't really. That's not even consequential. Basically, what we would do with Van and his band is we would play at all these different places like hospitals, senior citizens, and donate our time. Never got paid for it. And Van is like that. He'll do anything for charitable programs and so that's kind of like what that was.
Okay.
That thing.
Yeah.
So so that's sad. That wasn't much of a gig though.
Right. Yeah, I've been very blessed to do a lot of those shows too with the like at the VA and
at the
assisted
VA,
living.
We've played there on numerous occasions at different senior citizen centers and the city mission, places like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
One of my favorite stories is my buddy and I, we have a folk duo. I've been friends with my buddy Steve since high school. So in the early 2000s, we decided to make a folk duo together. We call ourselves Old Friends and do Simon and Garfunkel and that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So we've done the circuit, right? And when Don Papage, when he started over at the Diamond Hawk and started getting music going, he says, "Hey, why don't you guys come out and perform?" So I'm like, okay. So all the guys came out, right, and they're busting us and do some Elvis. So I pulled some Elvis out of my hat and all that kind of stuff.
I won for the money.
And because my buddy told me, he says, we're not doing Elvis because my buddy doesn't like Elvis. So it's like, I know when I've been licked, but then of course all the guys from work, right, they're heckling me and everything. And I get back to the office on that following Monday and they're like, yeah, your music was okay, but man, your shtick, man, you got to learn some new jokes because it really sucks, right?
No.
So we were at Fredonia Place in Williamsville, and I'm telling this story, and this old guy says, yeah, he's right. Your shtick does suck.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, there you go. leave it to an old fella. It's like, I was laughing. And I told that story to the guy at work, our plant manager, and he's like, didn't I tell you?
yeah, there you go.
But boy, those are some of the most fun shows.
Yeah.
Because we do the older stuff, 50s and 60s type style music. So they all know the words, and especially if they're...
And that's nice when they know the words,
Yeah.
There's just so many songs out there nowadays. I can't remember the lyrics to them. They get a little too deep for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a big fan of a group, you probably know all of their lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
And I watch these people singing the lyrics, and I'm like, how in the hell do they remember all these?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the lyrics today are just really kind of not the same as they were back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
Where everybody wanted to have a rhyme in the second verse of it, or what
Sure.
I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, now it's just like kind of like rap in a way, but they do it in country and in jazz and rock and pop,
Yeah. And I can't remember lyrics to save my life anyway.
I know, yeah.
It's hard
Even
enough
my own songs, I can't remember half the time. God damn it.
Talk to my buddy. I'm like, dude, you wrote the song.
Yeah, right.
But it's fun stuff. So now, like when you were with the Bills, you mentioned Lou Picone. So were there guys on the team that were also fellow musicians?
Yeah. Byron Franklin and I would get together in my basement of my house, and I had a nice little recording little studio down there, and we recorded a bunch of songs, which I've lost since then. But but we had some fun back in the day doing that, and as I mentioned earlier to you, Lou had put together a really nice song, Ain't Nobody Gonna Buffalo My Bills. A nice little blues tune, and we recorded, I think Tommy Calandra was the one that actually recorded. It's a little 45.
Okay.
And it's just a nice little song. We're going to sing it at the Music Fest.
Okay, great.
He's going to sing it. I'm going to play the backup. We'll have Butch Roll will be there too. He'll be doing the lead work.
Oh, nice.
And, last year we had Doug Flutie, but I don't know if we're going to get him this year. He's hemming and hawing. We don't, so we'll see. But I've got, in place of him, I've got Colleen Masterkova. And I don't know if you know Colleen Masterkova. She plays in the band Hair Nation with Jim Crean.
With Jim Crean, yep.
That's his wife. And she's going to be playing with us.
Oh, nice.
So I shouldn't call it the Bills Alumni. I should call it the Bills and Jill's Alumni Band now.
Well, that's right, because I had Jim Crean down on the podcast too.
Good.
Back.
Yeah.
She was here with him, but she didn't get on mic. But
right.
But yeah, she mentioned that.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We got a Jill, and Jill's will be performing there too. They're going to do a dance routine to the Shout song.
Oh, cool.
That went over good last year too.
Oh, good.
A lot of people really like that.
Yeah.
And these are women that are our age, they're in their 60s, most of them.
Sure.
And they just love doing things for the community. I'm just so pissed off at the Bills for disbanding the Jills.
Yeah.
It was not, the current Jills were not part of that lawsuit. The lawsuit that they filed against the NFL was basically for women that used to be Jills.
Okay.
And they were saying, and they had a legitimate gripe, though. They said they were calling us independent contractors, but they're telling us what to wear, what to do, everything that you don't do with an independent contractor.
Sure.
So they lost the lawsuit, the Bills did. And as a vindictive measure, they disbanded all the Jills. That was just a terrible thing. And I've been trying to promote them and get them back into good graces with the Bills. It's a new owner, a new stadium.
Sure.
Why not have the Jills come back? Now, obviously, the Jills that I'm talking about are not going to be the ones doing it. So there is a group that kind of broke off from them that has a professional cheerleading, segment to it. So and that'll be interesting. Francine, the former president of the Jills Alumni, she kind of broke away from the group and established this group of cheerleaders. Now they're actually performing, I think, for like the Bandits and some other groups. So, I'm not exactly sure, but, it'd be nice if the team gave them an opportunity and they don't even have to call them the Jills anymore. What's interesting is when I played for the Bills, my position name was Jill.
Oh,
I was the Jill.
Oh, okay.
So I had a special affinity for the Jills. Dated a few of them, but never lasted long.
I was going to say, I have an affinity because I'm in the printing business and I used to print the calendar.
Is that right? Their calendar?
From like 2003 to 8 or 9.
And what's cool about that is most of that money went to like charities,
right? Yeah,
and things, and everything they do nowadays, they very rarely ask for any type of appearance fee or anything. It's all for free, and now they got the Junior Jills. I was at the stadium last year, and they had probably 150 little girls.
Yeah.
From the ages of, like 6 to 8 all the way up to age 15, doing routines out on the field before the game,
Right.
That was pretty cool, man.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. It ain't easy. I know that.
And it's a way to, develop social skills too when you're around other people that are doing the same thing you're doing. It's a great thing that they're doing.
Yeah. One of the fun things I got to do with my buddy is we actually auditioned to sing the anthem at the stadium.
Oh, good.
And went out there, 50-yard line right in the middle.
Yeah.
We were watching everybody. And my buddy Steve says, "You got to listen for the echo." He says, "Here and here, we're going to stop for a half a second and wait for the echo to catch up." And we did pretty good.
Right.
And we lost out to some 7-part harmony guys, and
of
course the first year, because I used to also print the game day programs too, and every week I'd look and it's like, okay, there's another hot girl. Oh, there's another hot girl singing.
I've got a
skirts.
really good female vocalist that is coming to our music fest. That's going to sing the national anthem.
Oh, nice.
Cami Clune.
I've had Cami's been
if you
down
recognize
here too.
that name, she was on The Voice.
Yeah.
She sings the national anthem. She was the one that everybody at first was like, "Oh, that's too bad." She was singing the Canadian national anthem. First she had sung the national anthem, and then she did the Canadian one. But right early on the song, the sound cut out.
Yeah.
So that fans helped her finish the song, and it was just a great moment. She's amazing.
That's a definitely Buffalo thing, right? I mean, Buffalo's such a great city when it comes to stuff like that.
It is.
Yeah. Cammy's been in the chair you're sitting at. So
is that right?
Yeah, and her guitarist / boyfriend Mason came down, and they did a couple live tunes they performed for me here, and we have that in the
that
she's
is
great.
So nice. Yeah. Now I think she is just getting ready soon to do her first performance with a band, like her band.
Right.
And I don't know when that is, but it's coming up. You can probably Google it and find out.
Sure.
But I gotta be there for that.
Yeah. For the I just saw something on her because I know she's been recording some stuff and
so I've got another group that was on The Voice that's coming.
Letter to Elise.
Letter to Elise.
I just had those guys down. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I get around.
It's all falling into place.
It's karmic.
This is such a karmic call.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, I asked those guys, I'm like, because they used to be in a band called Mom Said No, most of them, and they used to wear the coolest suits, and
Timothy Jackson's band.
Yeah, Timothy. Yeah.
Timothy Jackson. His father, Tim Jackson.
Okay.
Was my wife's main person for the basketball program, the Randy Smith Summer Basketball Classic.
Okay.
And we couldn't believe it when little Tim started saying, "I'm going to be in a band. We're going to play." I was like,
yeah.
And then I went and heard him play band. They were good.
They were very good. Yeah.
And they dressed up in nice suits, and I was thinking of the ZZ Top song, Sharp Dressed Man. I was like, these kids are doing it,
Yeah, they had.
I think they've kind of mellowed out now. I don't know if they're actually together anymore.
Yeah, no. Well, I guess during COVID it kind of split them up, and then Tim got married, had a baby.
That's right. Yeah.
And so
that kind of tends to throw a little wrench in the machinery when you start doing that.
but Elliot, honey, so his second one's on the way. And, he's still doing it, and of course his father, Mark Hunt, is over there at GCR Audio and teaches around and
right.
The Cows Band program. So it's Buffalo's so small.
Yeah, I mean, you're they talk about 6 degrees separate. No, it's like 2 or 3.
I think it's 1,
maybe 1.
Well, it is funny. I talk to everybody. With doing this podcast, and I mean, I'm over 200 episodes now, and it just keeps getting smaller. And look at all the people that we've just named.
That we know, and that we've
all
done,
these dots just keep connecting with musically.
And that's great. That I like in a big city like Chicago, or you get lost in the market. You can't. It's tough to make it there and make it big and have staying power because there's just so many new groups coming in and new competition basically. And but here in Buffalo, man, we love our are guys like Doug Yeomans,
Yeah.
who's been around forever and
Yeah.
can
Doug's
play
a great
with the
guy.
best of
Yeah.
them. I call him our local Larry Carlton.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit like him, could play smooth like him,
Oh, I know.
And
And again, he's just another one of those guys. It's just like, yeah, that's what I do. Very nonchalant.
Exactly.
Well, and being on the Hall of Fame, my good buddy is Rich Sargent, and Sarge I considered him my mentor, and because he promoted everybody back in the day and worked with Tommy Shannon back in the day, and just so much, and he taught me so much, and he's just like, yeah, man, you gotta be smooth around these guys.
Yeah,
it's
and so the president of the Anthony Casuccio.
Anthony, yeah.
He's out there doing his thing now.
Oh, yeah?
When was the last time he played with a band before this?
Yeah, before this. I can't remember. And I saw him play live last year at Music is Art, and he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I had no idea. I knew he was on, but I didn't realize he was such a great performer. So
yeah.
Maybe next year we'll put him in our music fest.
And I'm sure he'd like it. A lot of his stuff really charts over in Europe.
That's right. I saw that. He gives us his progress report on how it's doing.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny, seeing my 45s over there. So England and Europe considers like Buffalo and a northern soul, and like a lot of Buffalo. I've gotten probably a lot of those 45s I bought, and they've been flown back here because they came from Europe. Yeah,
right.
Because they really love our stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Some of the people that are not really thought of too highly here in they go over there and all of a sudden they're stars.
Well, that's how Stray Cats had to do it too. So they're my favorites. And
I think Lou Gramm probably has another a million fans still in Japan. And
I'm sure. Well, I know Billy Sheehan does great over in Japan.
That's true. That's the other one. Yeah, yep. He does really well over there.
Mm-hmm.
They like him for his height too.
Yeah.
He just looks like a monster compared to the average citizen.
I always thought it was kind of crazy that we over here in the States, we really love the British invasion and the British music, and then they love our stuff, and they're all like, we like the Buddy Holly and, Gene Vincent, and we like all that stuff. And it's so, we like each other's stuff. So.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of interesting that it's like that. I'm wondering if there's any Chinese musicians or Japanese musicians that are really favored here in the U.S. that people have a following on.
Well, the K-pop thing, though, is starting to really take off now.
Yeah.
Which is the Korean pop. My 4-year-old granddaughter loves that.
She's into
stuff.
that?
Yeah, she's really into it.
Never caught on with me. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's not my, not my cup of tea, but hey.
Hey, that's,
if she comes over, she's Grampy, can we go downstairs and listen to music? I'm like, if that's what you want. And
that's nice.
She'll pick up a guitar and start to.
There you go.
So hopefully the bug's there. And
it's right there. There's so much information now on playing guitar and different sides. You go on YouTube, you go on Facebook, and there's so many tutorials on guys, like just on some of it's just a jazz lick. They're going to do just one jazz lick, but they show the tablature above it. And it's, so it's for guitar players, that's a great thing. I don't think I've seen anything like that for any other instrument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For piano. I mean, they could do it for piano, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the guitar tablature, that always helped me because I can't read music, and I refuse to try and learn.
Oh. I've tried because
I know some basics.
Yeah,
I know some basics. What's a 1-4-5?
I can kind of follow now. I was talking to. I just had Sally Andalina from the BPO down here, and I says, if you give me that first note, I can then follow, go up and down and know where to hold and all that kind of stuff.
Right. But finding that first note is in the pentatonic scale, it's like, that's it. If you can find a pentatonic scale to that song, you're good.
That's right. And I know it's the reason why my guitars have turned into artifacts is because I was taking lessons from Bobby LaBelle.
Is that
and
right?
he was teaching me, and then I'd come home and I'd plug in, I'd start playing. Oh, this song sounds like this song, and I'd go onto the computer, get the tablature, and then I'd just start going down the rabbit hole of, this song sounds like this song.
Yeah,
and I'd start printing all this stuff. 3 hours later, I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. I better go to bed.
I have done that so many times in my life where I've sat down. I just said, I just want to play the guitar for a little while, and 4 hours later, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
It's 4 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. It's a great way to entertain yourself
Mm-hmm.
and to give you some relaxation. That's the easiest thing for me to do in order to relax, is just play guitar. Now it's a different story when you're playing in front of like 50 to 100 people,
Right.
Then it gets a little nerve wracking it's like football, until you get that first hit,
Right.
you don't really, so once you get into it, then you're okay. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a little nerve wracking. A lot of people don't realize how hard it is to sit up there or stand up there in front of everybody, play a guitar, sing the song, remember the lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
know where all the, all your other musicians are doing and the timing and all that.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy task,
Right.
but it's fun. It is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, years ago, Bobby asked my buddy Steve and I to open for him, and he was playing at the Sportsman's, and we were told to go on at 7:00. Well, 7 is always 7:15, 7:20. We were ready, right?
Yeah.
And we were pacing for 20 minutes. And by the time we got up there, we were horrible. We were just, everything was off. Our harmonies were off. It's just because we were just not.
There are
we were
some
so ready
days,
to go.
Yeah, I've had some gigs where I was just like, was not on at all.
Mhm.
I just, and then that happens.
Yeah.
You're going to have off days,
Oh, yeah.
just like at work. Anybody that goes to work doesn't have a perfect day every day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we redeemed ourselves the next time we went. So we're just like, okay. We kind of, plus playing on that Sportsman stage, though, that's like, for me, that's like our Opryland, I mean, you get on that stage at Sportsman's, and that's special. It's a special place.
It really is. It's intimate.
Yeah.
It's got a great sound system.
Mm-hmm.
And they always bring in really good acts.
Yeah.
They bring in amazing people there. I'm looking forward to all the stuff that they're planning on doing in the future too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, and I'm fortunate. I'm on the board now of the Sportsman's Americana Music Foundation. So
so you might.
Yeah. So
do they have any room for expansion there at all, or no?
Well,
expand out the place,
because they've got the cave.
Right.
Well, because I don't know if you've been, because they covered the spot on the second floor where it used to be open, so they covered that all up, blew out the wall downstairs, so they did kind of.
Oh, right, they did do that.
Did make
You're
it
right.
bigger. Yeah,
You're
so
right.
it's about as big as I think they're going to be able
they can get it. Yeah.
to get that spot. And of
Yeah.
course, they got the park, and I know they've got a whole bunch of stuff planned for the
But I
summer
love
at
that
the
little
park.
balcony area where in a semicircle, a half circle,
Yeah.
where you can look down at the band. That's
Yeah.
a great perspective to have.
Yeah, that's where my wife and I. That's where we like to get there early and get that front row there. Cause
First come, first serve.
Yeah, and it's because it's a great spot you get to see it, get
Yeah.
that bird's eye view, and and of course acoustically it's awesome. And the cave, they bring in a whole bunch of different types of acts over there at the cave.
What's that? There's a little field somewhere in that area. I don't know that they had some outdoor events at. Too.
Yeah, they have they call that Sportsman's Park.
And where is that located?
It's like right next to the tavern.
Right next to the tavern.
Yeah, right next to the tavern. It's kind of out in the back, and they've got themselves a.
They got a great. They put a stage out there last year. I remember.
Yeah, they brought Ricky Skaggs last year. They brought to the park, and got my little banjo uke signed by him. So that was cool. And
that is a cool little banjo.
Yeah,
you got to see this, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. That's right.
That's right. I'll take a picture. I didn't know if he was going to be doing any kind of like meet and greet or whatever. So I thought, I'll bring it in the car just in case. And
right.
He came out after, just walked out the crowd, was chatting with everybody. It was great. I love when musicians do that. It's just
you know, and some of them, just they want to give back. One of the guys that we have for our music fest, a guy named Mick Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't ask for a lot of money,
right.
but he comes in because he loves playing. He's you can just feel it in his soul and his heart that he likes what he does, and he does a lot of little things on Facebook where he talks about it. He's very, very sincere and down to earth, and I love his lyrics for his songs. He, Joe Bonamassa produced his last album and plays on it too.
Oh wow,
that's how good this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
That Joe Bonamassa took him under his wing and said, "Hey, I like you. I like what you're doing."
Right.
I've got quotes of different compliments that he's given to Mick Hayes, and but Mick's a great guy, man. He didn't have the best reputation when he was first in Buffalo, because this goes back 30 years ago, though. So if he did anyone wrong back then, he, forgive him, because he's changed, man. He stopped drinking, he stopped drugging. He's really committed to his music now,
Yeah.
and having somebody like Joe Bonamassa say he's going to produce his album, that's pretty damn.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'd like to just meet Joe Bonamassa.
I know. I remember I used to live in Batavia, so of course I could get both Buffalo and Rochester stations. And Brother Weeze always used to have Joe Bonamassa on WCMF when he was like 8, 9 years old, when he was when he was a child prodigy.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Really,
now
there's some people that they look like they were born with a guitar wrapped around them, and he's one of those guys that just, and I hear he's a really good guy too, I mean, anybody that can put up with Mick Hayes, I got to give it to him. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Mick's also a veteran of the podcast, so it's
is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we can get him in here when he comes into town.
Oh, there you go. I'd love to have it. Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I want to get as much press on him as I can. I have another kid that's coming in too, and when I say kid, this guy's like 24 years old.
Okay.
His name is Cordell Winter.
Okay,
and I got a feeling a lot of people are going to be hearing that name. The guy's got, if you go on Google it, YouTube, whatever, Cordell Winter, you can hear some of his original songs, and that's what he's doing. Him and Mick Hayes are playing the original songs. All the other bands before them are basically doing tribute stuff.
Okay.
We've got Beatles Rock, we've got Songbirds, the Fleetwood Mac tribute band. They're going to be there. I got Tequila Sunrise playing the Eagles stuff. I got Deborah Mangone and the Bonnie Raitt group. Have you ever heard her?
I have not heard her.
Wait till you see her. Yeah. She not only looks like her, I mean, almost a spitting image of Bonnie Raitt, but she plays slide guitar like her and sings like her too. I mean, I was amazed the first I heard him at the Cas.
Okay.
And that's a real nice, intimate, small place. But I was like, I got to have her in my, and she's going to let me play a song with them too. So
that's always cool.
So I like her, yeah. And then I've got, as we mentioned before, Letter to Elise. I've got the Led Zeppelin tribute band, the song Remain. And then our blues band, it's going to be me, Butch Roll, Lou Picone, Colleen Mastrokova. Probably can't get Doug Flutie to come back this year, but that's all right. He's a busy guy, He's selling his, dick pills. No.
I was going to say the flakes, still doing the flakes.
Whatever. Oh, some of the claims they make on those commercials just drive me crazy. But anyway, so and then Jim Crean and friends, Jim is Hair Nation, and they do some Black Sabbath stuff, and then of course Mick Hayes will come on at the end.
Right.
But in between all that, we're going to be doing raffles. We're going to be doing live auctions. We're going to have guitars signed by, you name Robbie Takak is signing a guitar for us. I've got, and Mick Hayes, I was supposed to do this last year. This is the craziest thing. So Mick's getting ready to perform. And so I told everybody I was going to bring this guitar that I call my Black Beauty. It looks like a Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul. And it's a beautiful guitar, but I couldn't find, and it's all black, so but I couldn't find a silver marker for him to sign it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm running around trying. I couldn't find it, and we didn't have time. He just went on and performed, so I'm saving it for this year.
Oh, there you go.
We'll do it again. I'll give it one more shot.
I'll make sure I got a pocket of all
just one,
colors.
A silver Sharpie. That's all I need.
Yeah. When I started the podcast, I used to have my guests sign. I got Rob Neubauer from the stage gave me a whole stack of pick guards. So I thought, I'll have everyone sign a pick guard. And then it just got to the point where I ran out of them, and I'm all self-produced, so I didn't have enough bucks to go get any more. So every now and then I try to have, like I said, I'll have you sign my guitar. Yeah, because it's called a vintage brand, but it's my Tele. So because I love the twang.
Yeah, that's the guitar you want to use if you're going to be playing country music. You know?
Or rock. I'd love to have a Gretsch, So that would be my.
That was the Beatles. George Harrison played that a lot.
Yeah,
he played that a lot. So
played a Rick.
Yeah,
I think, or did John play the Rick? I can't remember. I think they both. One of them played a Rickenbacker.
The bass.
Yeah,
Paul. I think.
Yeah, no, that was a Hofner.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it was? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't, I've got a whole book at home. It's probably about a $50 book.
Well,
all the guitars that the Beatles ever used.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I look through it every once in a while. I'm like, I can't remember all this stuff. You know?
It's funny. Well, and of course, I've had Gary Astrich down here. Have you ever met Gary?
No, I don't.
He's the drummer for the BBC band, but you talk about, he has Beatles drum kits, like the Sullivan kit. So there was like 5 of them made of the actual finish.
Was this actually used in a performance?
It was not. It was Ringo had 2, and then he has 2 that weren't, and then somebody else had 1. And to make a long story short, and you can listen to it on his episode, but he's become Ringo's like drum curator because of his knowledge of
their drums.
Yeah. And specifically and then I think underneath one of those posters is one with Gary, because I rotate all my posters and stuff around down here. So there's all the different Ludwig, all the different things. And supposedly the Sullivan kit, he used I think it was a 5.5-inch snare instead of a 5-inch or something like that, and that was more of a jazz thing, and in the make, model, and finish and all that. And
so I've converted my 3rd floor bedroom into a studio, basically. I prefer, a place for rehearsals, and I've got 2 drum kits. I got a live drum kit and I've got an electronic drum kit. So the electronic one I use when I'm by myself, or maybe just we don't have a drummer. We just push a few buttons and boom, 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 we got it. But boy, that my room is it's taken over. The music is taking it over. I got a bed that I sleep in, but everything else is like music, related.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. It's like I need a crowbar now to fit more stuff down.
Yeah, right.
Because I'd love to.
I'm running out of. Yeah, it's getting a little out of hand. I got to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, because I had a Jamie Sunshine. Great drummer. She's like, you got to get a drum kit. I could tell you want a drum, and because I tried when I was in 6th grade, never made it. And she said, just get yourself a snare or get a cajon. I'll teach you. And I'm like, where am I going to put that?
I've never. My son plays a little bit of drums. He's not bad. He plays guitar too, and a little bit of keyboards, but. I just had no talent on that. Now I'm pretty good rhythm wise. But I just never had an affinity for playing the drums.
Yeah. I don't know if I could get both hands and both feet going at the same time. It's
that's the other thing. If you got a double bass kit, you got to keep them. Oh, that's work.
Yeah,
that's the other thing about the drummer. The drummer works harder than anybody in the band. I don't care what anybody says. That is a hard. It's like being the catcher on a baseball team.
Right.
Everything's got to come to you, and everything goes through you.
And of course, they got the most gear to bring in. And,
right.
They take down the first guy there, the last guy to leave.
They've got these electronic kits now that sound a lot like a real drum kit. And you can change the kit on your control board. Whatever, you can have the Beatles drums, and it'll sound just like that. Okay. And they're just they're pads. They're basically pads, but you don't get good sustain, and you don't get the feel of a good So it's okay, but it's more of that techno type music that you play that to.
Yeah, probably good to practice with too. Yeah. So
hey, can I run by the cove?
I was just going to ask you to, because we've kind of jumped around it. So what is the event that you're going to be having in June?
Yeah, so this will be our 2nd annual music fest. Last year we were at the Wings meeting place that's right near the stadium, and just had a fantastic time. Had great performances by a lot of local people, that I wanted to highlight, like Doug Yeomans and George Paleo and Damone Jackson, and just a ton of guys, Michael Hund, and and this year I said, I don't want to be outdoors because it could rain. And last year it rained like 7 days straight, and then right at the day of our event it cleared up.
Wow.
But I think it may have scared some people away, thinking, it's going to rain, I don't want to buy a ticket right now, blah blah blah. But this year we're indoors. We're at the Cove. It's on Transit 4701 Transit Road in Depew. Big place, man. If you've never been there, you are going to be impressed. We've got a 2nd floor VIP area. We're going to have a cigar bar with pairing with different bourbons up there.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to, and that Tinderbox is our sponsor for that one. And we got a lot of good sponsors. I've got about 12 sponsors right now that have come in on this. So I've got everything paid for at this point, which is good, because now I just need to sell tickets. So if you want a ticket to this event, They're $45 for general admission. They're $65 for VIP. That will give you access to all the players that'll be coming. And we're trying to get some big name guys to come in. I'm trying to get Andre Reed and Jim Kelly and some of these other guys that are here locally, you know. But Andre, he's just a stone throw away. I've been going to his golf tournament for 25 years, I think. So he's got to return the favor this time, you know. But yeah, we're gonna have our blues band is gonna play all the other ones I mentioned. But we're gonna get started at noon, and it's easy to buy tickets. All you have to do is go to BuffaloBillsAlumni.com, BuffaloBillsAlumni.com, and you'll see. Up at the header, you'll see Music Fest. Just click on that, and you'll be able to figure out how to get to the payment stuff and do that. But you know, anybody that can come out and support us, it's important because this is a fundraiser. It's not just entertainment. No one's getting paid. I don't get paid a cent for any of this that I'm doing. Neither do any of the Buffalo Bills alumni. We do this strictly to benefit charities. The number one charity this year is Dion's Dreamers. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of that, but Dion Dawkins is the one protecting Josh Allen's backs. You know, you know, so you know he's the one that started this program, and it's amazing what he does. It's basically it's a program to help young people, typically minorities that are you know low income. Had issues in school and things, you know, it puts them back on the right track.
Right.
And when they hear somebody like Dion talk, man, it's just, it can change a life. You know, it can really change a life. And so he wants these young kids to dream. He wants them to dream and believe in their dreams. And you know, so that's one of them. I mean, last year we had several. We had Doug Flutie's Foundation for Autism. His son has autism, so we gave him some money on that. We had the American Lung Association. They do their Climb for Air. Is it Climb for Air? Yeah. And it's an amazing event. They do it at this year. It's going to be at the Seneca Tower, Seneca 1.
Okay.
And we go up the tower. We climb up the tower.
Right.
And we've raised money. You know, a lot of people have donated to that event too. And that's the people in Buffalo have just tremendous hearts. They give when they even don't have money to give. They just they find a way to do it. You know, and so. This event for the Music Fest, it's a fundraiser basically, you know. But we want to have good. I like having fun when I raise funds.
Oh yeah.
It's a fundraiser.
That's always a good thing. I will have the link also at rockabillygreg.com. Where you can find the podcast and everything. So I'll have that link so people can reach out.
Yeah, good.
I found the link, so it wasn't hard. So I got my VIP ticket. I'm looking forward to it. So,
good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah,
most people are buying VIP tickets. They want to have access to some of the guys or the bands. You'll have access to the bands. You can get autographs. If you got a VIP bracelet now, you know, because some of these guys, I've told them, if you go down to the general admission area. And somebody asks for an autograph, just say, "Hey, I've been told I can only do that in the VIP section." You know, so, I mean, and they said, "Hey, it's not my fault. That's the rules. That's
it's all for charity." But people are paying
an extra $20 to do that, so you know they should get that perk. You know,
exactly. So and you're trying to raise money for charity.
That's the bottom line.
That's
you know,
the thing.
And even the bands have been very good. You know, they typically charge a lot more than what I'm paying them, so you know that they've been very good there. I would say Brian Page at the Cove, the owner of the Cove, has been very helpful. You know, he's giving us the venue for free.
Oh, nice.
We don't have to pay a cent. Now, of course, he's going to get, you know, liquor sales and food.
Sure, yeah.
But we're going to spend, our alumni is going to spend about $2,000 there on things too. You know, so he's going to, it's a win-win for both of us. Both of us,
Yeah, I did.
So, but I encourage everybody to come out. You know, I'm not asking people to stay the whole 10 hours or whatever, you know, but, you know, you could actually come out in the morning at noon, get there, listen to a couple bands, go out for lunch, take a nap, and then come back for the evening, you know, if you wanted, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can come back if it's
you got, you know, we'll give you a bracelet, you know, you just make sure you're wearing that when you come back in.
Yeah.
And don't tell us you broke it or it fell off or anything, because you know, these are like, you know, you need a lock to take them off. No.
Yeah. We hosted when I was with the Hall of Fame, we hosted the gala one year out at the Cove. Yeah, and it was actually the year that
I remember that.
Yeah, when we inducted Jackson C. Frank, and my buddy and I sang "Blues Run the Game." Yeah, and that was the coolest thing because.
Wasn't that a nice event? And so you know that second floor balcony area, that's the VIP area. You know, there's only 2 ways to get there. One near the front entrance, and we'll have somebody guarding that gate, and then one over on the side near the stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have a fun time. That's gonna be
that was fun. I remember we started singing that song, and people are talking everything. The whole place went quiet.
Yeah.
That was the neatest feeling ever. Was people just really
to listen.
The gentleman that was there from Georgia, Jim Abbott, who was Jackson's guardian at the end of his life, was just looking at us with tears streaming down his eyes or his cheeks, and that was something really, really special.
That might have been one of the first times I was ever there. I think.
Yeah.
I think for that, for the Hall of Fame party or whatever that we did. Was that the award ceremony?
It was you were so.
Yeah, that was the award ceremony. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was your Linda Appleby was also inducted. I remember that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We had Janice Mitchell doing our memorial song for us. I love Janice.
And Jim, a lot of people always confuse Janice with Joyce, my wife, because they looked a little bit alike. They both were singers, Janice had more of a jazz flirt, whereas Joyce was more, she tried to be a rocker, which I thought was cool. How many black women are rockers?
Right.
But she was.
Yeah. I love Joyce. So, because I was on the board when she was on the board. We used to have a ball. And I remember when we would walk in the Juneteenth parade, and we'd have Unity Band on the back of a flatbed. And
Right.
Joyce would always be up there on the
she'd be at the main platform.
There's my Hall of Fame. Oh,
yep. I remember that. Yeah. She did that for a number of years. That's not an easy gig to do. You're outside. It's hot.
Oh, yeah.
You have to talk every moment for 4 straight hours.
Yeah.
There's no let up because you have to talk about each float or each group that's coming by the platform. Oh,
yeah. For whatever I remember one year the flatbed was late or something, so we were at the end of the line. Oh my gosh, we were on that street for at least 4 hours, maybe longer. It was it was hot.
Oh god, especially on people that were able to do that. It's amazing.
Yeah, but boy, I give Tommy Fluker and his band, man, they played the whole time.
Yeah,
they never stopped.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he always. Yeah, he's a great guy. Always did such a wonderful job for us, and we're kind of getting close to the top of the hour. Like I mentioned, Jeff, it goes fast.
Yeah, it does. And, it's been an hour.
Anything more that you need to add, especially about the event?
I will say this. Our Buffalo Bills alumni is currently doing a associate membership drive. So what we're doing is for $100. You can become an associate member. We have a really nice T-shirt that's got a logo that we did specifically for associate members. Mm-hmm. You'll be see some people that come to the event will see guys and girls wearing that at the event. But you also get VIP upgrades if you buy a general admission ticket to any of our events. You automatically get upgraded to VIP. You get a newsletter. We're going to have a party at the end of the year where we invite everybody to come to it. We may even do something this summer. I'm really thinking about doing a little picnic to help out. But the reason we wanted to get these people doing that was also to get funds for charities, because we're going to let them make a decision on where the money goes. That we've raised already $6,500 from memberships alone.
Nice.
And so we're going to let them determine where that money goes. At the end of the year, we'll give them a choice of 5 different charities that have submitted things to us, and we'll say, hey, you guys make the final decision. It was your money, so why not? So trying to think what else we got going on. We've got little trivia games we play every month, and if whoever wins and it's typically a question about the Bills alumni.
Right.
Like the one of them was, who were the 3 players that were stalwarts on the 1980 defense team that had a special name for them?
Oh, yeah.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Fred Smerlas, Shane Nelson, Jim Haslett. Yeah, and whoever answers that question fastest. Yeah. So, and we post it right at noon, and so we have people at 12:01 with the answer, and then about 4 or 5 others that are maybe 1 or 2 minutes behind them,
Right.
So, and we give them coasters. We have these rubber coasters that have the emblem, our associate membership emblem on it, and we send that to the winner. So. And if you win once, you can't play again. So it gives other people an opportunity to win. So we're going to do that. trying to think what else. There's a couple other things we had. But anyway, you can look at all of that stuff at the BuffaloBillsAlumni.com website. You can see the associate.
Okay.
We have a wall of honor for anybody that becomes a associate member. We put your name on this wall, and thank you for being a part of the team.
Oh yeah, it's the Bills are definitely a favorite son of Buffalo.
We're talking about doing. You know how they have like Alumni Plaza near the Sabres,
right? Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing the same thing near the Bills Stadium, so that people that can't afford to actually watch the game can come to this plaza, see the history of the Bills, meet some of the former players, and then and also watch the game outside.
Right. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they'll be cheering in the stadium and out of the stadium. You know what's interesting is that there's always a little bit of a delay.
Right.
So you'll hear them cheering real loud in there, so a good play is getting ready to come on the screen.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I think we're going to get that done. John Lipsy, he's the one that designed the Alumni Park one for the Sabres. He's the one that's involved in this.
Oh, nice.
He's spearheading this whole thing, and so kudos to John Lipsy.
Yeah.
He's been involved with the Sabres, the Bills, just a lot of different things in the area.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff,
other than that, I'm trying to, we do have a golf tournament that we do every year. All this stuff you can see on our website. We're getting ready to do a motorcycle run.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a new ground, new territory for us. But we're looking for fans everywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
You do your golf tournament at Terry Hills, right, out in Batavia?
No. That's going to be a Clover Bank.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a Clover Bank, and that's September the third Monday. I believe it's the 14th. I don't know. Look at the third Monday in September. But that information's on our website too.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Greg, man, I appreciate you having me on the show.
I'm so psyched that you could come down and
we'll do
tell
it
your
again.
stories. We'll do it again. Yeah.
Maybe after our music fest, and I can report out on what we did.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And I'll be happy to share it after, even on my social media page.
Sounds good.
But like I said, I will have stuff at rockabillygreg.com. I'll have links to where they can find you and get the tickets and to the alumni.
Thank you.
Group. And and we'll have a little bio on you there, so people know what you're doing musically, and I tell you, my claim to fame, and it's the only thing I can hang my hat on. I still have a record that stands to this day: 4 takeaways in a game. Wow.
I had 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery, and it was the game where we beat Miami for the first time in 20 straight games. 10 years we went. They beat us every time. Yeah. And I was there for the first 2. My rookie year in '79, they beat us twice, and it was sad because the very first game of the year was against the Dolphins, and Tom Dempsey lined up for a field goal and missed it to the left by about a half a foot.
Mm-hmm.
And did you get the joke there? Tom Dempsey had half a foot.
Yeah.
But he did. It was like, we talked about wide right. This is wide left, But then the very next year, first game of the year, we finally beat the Dolphins, got the monkey off our back. And, and I was leading the NFL in interceptions. I had 5 after 4 games, and then I tore my knee up. And then from there on, it was like injury after injury and fighting through it. But I would never change anything. I was one of the lucky ones that had an opportunity to play in the NFL. And there's a lot of guys that just don't get that opportunity for one reason or another. Maybe they got injured their senior year in college, or maybe they didn't get along with the coach or something. So there's politics played in football, just like there is in everywhere else in the world. So, but thanks again, man, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, and we'll do it again.
It's been great. Absolutely. So for everyone who's tuned in, as we mentioned, you can always find the podcast where you get your podcasts. At Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, thebuffalohive.com, YouTube, and as I mentioned, you can always find the podcast at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music, and I'll try to have some photos up there and bio, and of course the podcast, and we'll have links to where you can get your tickets for Jeff's event and in the alumni group there, and get yourself involved in it. So, Jeff, again, thanks for coming down. And for everyone who's tuned in, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. In the Flamingo Lounge is made possible in part by CatsLikeUs.com, your online store for authentic vintage clothing and accessories. Buffalo Ironworks, an intimate live music venue and bar located in the Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo. and by Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, Western New York's premier golf course, restaurant, and banquet facility. At the Hawk, the bar is hopping year-round with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and some other nights, too. Tune in for a new episode every Saturday at 9 a.m. EST at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. Bark, Zoe, bark. Good girl.